Hello everyone, welcome to the final part of my Deathstroke Minecraft pixel art tutorial. And we're going to start off where we left off, which was all the way up here. So let us start by focusing on the bottom part of Deathstroke's mask, which is down here. And we're going to start off by using the pumpkin. I haven't worked on this tutorial in such a long time. This is going to be the last one, so there's no problem. So let's find this one pumpkin that's next to this one black wool. Now with the pumpkin, starting on top of the black wool, you're going to be placing it 2 blocks going up. So, whoops. So, that's 1, 2. Now on top of these 2 black wools, you're going to be placing 6 pumpkins going up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to switch over to the spruce wood planks, not the wood, but the spruce wood planks. Starting on top of the pumpkin, place 3 blocks going up. That's 1, 2, 3. And then place 1 block on the right side of the bottom, or of the top block. So place 1 block there. Now going back to the top block of these 3 blocks, you're going to be placing 1 block going diagonal up to the left. So that's 1. So it should look like this so far. Now we're going to switch over to the jungle wood planks. Now with the jungle wood planks, starting from this one spruce wood planks that went to the right, you're going to be placing 1 block going diagonal up to the right. So that's 1. And then place 3 blocks going across on the upper level to the right. That's 1, 2, 3. And now place 1 block on top of the middle block of these 3 blocks going across, so place 1 block there. Now we're going to switch back over to the spruce wood planks and moving to this one jungle wood plank that went diagonal up to the right, starting on top of it. With the spruce wood planks, you're going to be placing 4 blocks going up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you're going to place 1 block going diagonal up to the left. That's 1. And starting on top of this 1 block, you're going to place 2 blocks going across to the left. That's 1, 2. And now place 2 blocks going down on the left side. That's 1 and 2. Now we're going to fill in this empty space here with these spruce wood planks. So let's fill this in. And then once we fill that in, we're going to switch over to the pumpkin. And we're going to fill in these 3 spaces. This space here, this small space, along with these 2 long spaces here, not to get confused with this space gets filled in with something else. So let's fill in this, and the upper part with the pumpkin. Let's do that now. I'll let you know when I'm going to time-lapse parts, but this doesn't need time-lapsing. So it should look like that with the pumpkin. Now we're going to switch over to the snow block. So let's switch to the snow. And then we're going to fill in these 3 empty spaces here with the snow block. So let's fill those in. It's 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to switch back over to the spruce wood planks. And with the spruce wood planks, let's go to the 3 jungle wood planks going across here. Starting on top of this block, you're going to place 3 blocks going up with spruce wood planks. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then 1 block going diagonal up to the left. That's 1. And then 2 blocks going up on the left. That's 1, 2. Let's switch over to the pumpkin. And we're going to fill in this empty space with the pumpkin. So let's fill that in. So it should look like this. Now we're going to switch over to the orange wool, and with the orange wool, we're going to move over here to the right. On top of this black wool, just add 2 orange wools going up. That's 1, 2. And then 1 block on top of these 2 black wools. So place 1 orange wool there. Then we're going to switch over to the pumpkin, and let's fill in this empty space here with the pumpkin. So let's fill this in with the pumpkin. And it should look like this. Alright, so now that we have that, let's move down here a bit. I think we've pretty much done everything we can for the bottom part of the mask. All that's really left is the details up here. So let's start working on the details up here by switching over to the, I believe, sand block we need now. Let's switch over to the sand block. Put that black wool aside for now. We'll put the snow block aside as well. Well, I don't know which block. We'll put the brown wool aside. We need all of these blocks. I just don't want to keep going into the inventory and switching back to them. Alright, so we're going to start off with the sand block. And let's move up here to where we have the eye just going up to the left and find these orange wool. So this one orange wool making contact with the pumpkin here. Starting on top of this one orange wool, starting from there, add 2 sand blocks going up. That's 1, 2. And then you're going to place 6 blocks going diagonal up to the right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's move over here to these 2 black wools and just place 1 sand block on top of it. That's 1. And then 2 blocks going across on top of these 2 black wools. So that's 1, 2. Now starting on top of this sand block, starting from there, you're just going to place 3 blocks going diagonal up to the right. Diagonal up to the right. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Now 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the right. 1, 2. And then 2 blocks going diagonal up to the right. 1, 2. And then 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the right. That's 1 and 2. And it should look like this. Now we're going to switch over to the gold block, because we need the gold block now. And we're going to move to these 2 sand blocks going across that's on top of this backwards L shape here. So going to these 2 sand blocks, we're going to start on top of the right one. So from there, you're just going to place 2 sand blocks going, or 2 gold blocks going up. That's 1 and 2. Now switch over to the sand block and place 1 sand block on top of the gold. Now we're going to switch over to the placement blocks. Now starting with the placement block, starting on top of that sand, you're going to be placing it 2 placement blocks going across to the left. That's 1, 2. And then switch over to the gold and place 1 gold block on the left. That's 1. Switch back over to the sand and place 1 sand on top of the gold. Now let's get rid of these placement blocks. And now we're going to switch back over to the placement blocks. And let's see, to make this easier on ourselves, we're going to move back over here to the 2 gold blocks, I should say, 2 gold blocks going up, starting on the left side. So starting from there with the placement block, you're going to be placing 5 placement blocks going across to the left. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now switch over to the gold, place 2 blocks going across to the left. 1, 2. And then place 1 gold block underneath this placement block. So that's 1. Now we can go ahead and get rid of these. So it should look like this. Now we're going to switch over to the sand block and place 1 sand block on top of this gold block. And then 2 sands going across on top of these 2 gold. That's 1 and 2. So it should look like that. Now we're going to switch over to the placement block again, starting on top of the left sand block. So from there, place 2 blocks going across to the left. That's 1, 2. Now we're going to switch over to the yellow wool, starting on top of this placement block. Place 2 yellow wools going across to the left. That's 1, 2. Now let's get rid of these placement blocks. Let's go back up here. Switching over to the placement block again, starting on the left side of the 2 yellow wools, you're going to place 2 placement blocks going across to the left. That's 1, 2. Now switch over to the yellow wool, starting on top of this placement block on the left, you're going to be placing 2 blocks going across to the left. That's 1 and 2. Now we can go ahead and get rid of those. So it should look like this. Now we're going to switch over to the gold block, and with the gold block, we're going to move back down here to this area, going over here to where we had the 10 gold blocks going up, and underneath it, we also had the 13 orange wools. We're going to go pretty much where they meet here, the gold and the orange. Starting from the top block of the 13 orange wools on the right side, you're going to be placing 2 gold blocks going across to the right. That's 1, 2. Now switch over to the sand block and place 2 sand blocks going across on top of these 2 gold blocks. So that's 1, 2. And then you're going to do that again, place 2 more sand blocks going across on top of these 2 sand blocks. So that's 1 and 2. Now we're going to switch back over to the placement block. Now with a placement block, starting from the first row of the 2 sand blocks that we placed, so starting from this row, starting on the right side, you're going to be placing 4 placement blocks going across to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now switch over to the gold. Starting on the left side, place 2 gold blocks going across to the right. That's 1, 2. Now let's get rid of these placement blocks. And let's switch back over to the sand. Place 2 sand blocks going across on top of the 2 golds. So that's 1, 2. And then place another 2 sand blocks going across on top of these 2 sands. So that's 1 and 2. So it should look like this. We're pretty much almost done with filling in the mask with the details. All that's left is pretty much, let's see, outlining the right side. So what we're going to do next and need for this next part are the following blocks. We're going to need the pumpkin for now, so let's switch over to the pumpkin. Moving over here to the right, I want you to find these 2 black wools going across. That underneath it, we have the spruce wood planks and the spruce wood here. Now, starting off with the pumpkin, starting on top of the left block of these 2 black wools, so starting from there, you're going to add 5 pumpkins going up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to switch over to the yellow wool. So let's switch over to the yellow wool. Let's move down here, starting on top of this black wool and next to this pumpkin. With the yellow wool, you're going to place 8 blocks going up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now place 2 blocks going up on the left side. 1, 2. And now 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1, 2. And now 2 blocks going up on the left side. 1, 2. Now 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left. 1, 2. And now place 2 sets of 2s going across on the upper level to the left. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2. And now you're going to place 2 sets of 3s going across on the upper level to the left. That's 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2. That's 2 sets of 3s. Now let's switch over to the snow block, and with the snow block, we're going to fill in these small empty spaces here that we left in between the pumpkin, the yellow wool, and the black wool. Just fill in these small spaces here with these snow blocks, so let's fill those in. So it looks like that. Alright, so now that we've got that done, what we're going to do next is switching over to the pumpkin. Now, we're going to time-lapse this, so pay close attention. The blocks that we're going to be needing for this next time-lapse is the pumpkin and the gold block. Now, with the pumpkin, the bottom part of his mask gets filled in with the pumpkin, while the top part gets filled in with the gold block. Now, let me outline the bottom part. This is the bottom part. Everything below this black wool outline that's also being hugged with that sand block there. This outline here and everything below this outline, including up here, this is also the outline. Everything below this outline gets filled in with the pumpkin, so pretty much this entire large area here gets filled in with pumpkin. When you switch to gold, everything up here, including going down there, gets filled in with gold. So do that now. And when you're done filling it in, it should look like this. So now we are going to be switching over to the black wool, and let's move down here to see what else we can outline. Now, before I start outlining anything, I've been doing a good job of avoiding this large area. This large area is going to be just a pain in the butt to do. But you know what? Instead of avoiding it, why don't we go ahead and tackle this and get this out of the way? I was going to save this for the last part of the tutorial, but I really want to get this over with. This is just, I've been dreading this part. So instead of switching over to the black wool and trying to go over there, what we're going to do is get through this annoying part first. So I'm tired of being confused with all of these blocks. Let me put all of them away except the placement block. We're going to take this little by little, slowly, okay? With the light gray wool, that's all you're going to need for this next part. For the light gray wool, I believe I have already taught you what hugging the outline is. Hopefully you guys have been frequenting all the other pixel art tutorials and you know the term hugging the outline, because that is exactly what we're going to do. First, we're going to fly over here to the right. With the light gray wool, we're going to find these 2 black wools going across and the 5 black wools going down on the right. We're going to find these 2 black wools starting out underneath the right block. You're going to be placing 3 light gray wools going down. That's 1, 2, 3. And move over here. Now on the left block underneath it, place 1 light gray wool. That's 1. So it should look like this. Now that's going to be our end point. Our start point is all the way over here. Now what we're going to do is hug the outline of the black wool until we reach over there. So I hope you know what that is, and if you don't, then just go ahead and pause the video and see what I'm doing. Essentially, we're just adding the same amount of block numbers that are already placed. As you can see, that's 2, that's 2, that's 2, that's 3. And this is what hugging the outline is. Very simple and easy to follow. It saves me a lot of time instead of just instructing you one by one. Alright, so it should look like that. Now we're going to switch over to the gray wool. Not sure if I want to do this, because there isn't a very specific order I want to be doing this. But hopefully I don't mess this up, because you'll see why. You should be able to tell why by that little mask part that we had over there. Hopefully you guys didn't have too much trouble with the whole zigzag pattern, because it's just going to be put in a larger scale for this part. So now starting underneath the 3 light gray wools, with the gray wool, you're going to be placing 4 blocks going diagonal down to the left. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to switch the placement block and put a placement block on the left side of this gray wool. Switching over to the gray wool, starting on the left side of the placement block, place 4 blocks going diagonal down to the left. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it should look like that. Now we're going to switch back to, let's see, we're going to switch back over to the light gray wool. Now with the light gray wool, we're going to move to these 5 black wools going down. Starting underneath it, you're going to be placing 3 light gray wools going across to the left. That's 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to move down here to the right, and I want you to find this part here that goes 3 different ways. It comes from there, goes to the right, and goes down to the right, and pretty much goes down up to the left. So find these areas or this area and place with the light gray wool, 1 light gray wool underneath these 2 black wools that are making contact with all of these 3 directions. So place 1 light gray wool there. So it looks like that. And now what we're going to do is just hug the outline of the black wool, going all the way up to those 3 light gray wools. So let's hug the outline on the left side of this. So it should look like that. So now that we have that, we're going to continue with the light gray wool. And let's move back up here to the 3 blocks going across. Starting from the left block, you're going to place 1 block going diagonal down to the left. That's 1. And then 2 blocks going across on the lower level to the left. That's 1, 2. Now 1 block going diagonal down to the left. That's 1. Now 2 blocks going across on the lower level to the left. It's 1, 2. Now place 1 block going diagonal down to the left. Oops. That's 1. Now quickly switch over to the black wool and place 1 black wool on the left side of this light gray wool. So place 1 black wool there. Now switch back to the light gray wool, and starting underneath the black wool, place 2 light gray wools going across to the left. That's 1, 2. Now we're going to switch to the, let's see. No, let's not switch just yet. Let's continue with this pattern. We're going to be placing one block going diagonal down to the left at 1. Now 2 blocks going across on the lower level to the left. That's 1, 2. Now 1 block going diagonal down to the left. That's 1. Now we're going to be placing 2 blocks going across on the lower level to the left. That's 1 and 2. So now we're going to switch over to the black wall, starting on top of the right block of the light gray wall of these 2 blocks. Starting from there, you're going to be placing 5 blocks going diagonal up to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, didn't mean to use that. But placement block's all the way over there, so whatever. That's 4, and that's 5. So it should look like this. Alright, go ahead and pause the video now if you need to, just to compare. Now let's switch back to the light gray wall, starting on the left side, going back to these 2 light gray walls, going across, starting from there. You're going to be placing 1 block going diagonal down to the left. That's 1. Now 2 blocks going across on the lower level to the left. That's 1, 2. Now 1 block going diagonal down to the left. That's 1. And now you're going to be switching to, let's see, again, I'm going a little too early for it. You're going to be placing 2 blocks going across. No switching just yet. 2 blocks going across on the lower level to the left. That's 1, 2. Alright. So now you're going to be switching over to the, let's see, black wall. Now with the black wall, starting on top of the right block of the 2 light gray walls, so starting from there, before I make this mistake, let's switch this up. You're going to be placing 6 blocks going diagonal up to the right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's get rid of those. So it should look like this. Alright, now let's go back down here. And to make this easier on myself, we're going to switch over to the placement block and put a placement block on top of the light gray wall here. Just place 1 there. Now we're going to switch back over to the black wall. With the black wall starting on the left side of the placement block, you're going to be placing 6 black walls going diagonal down to the left. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's get rid of those. And if any of you are still wondering why this video is extremely long, it's because I'm getting back into the swing of things. I'm going to be making these pixel art tutorials a lot longer. If anything, if I can, I'll make sure to make some of them full tutorial parts so you guys don't have to wait weeks upon weeks until the next part comes out. That way you get to do a lot of it, or even the whole thing in one single video. So, it's better for you. So now that we have these 6 blocks going diagonal down to the left, we're going to go back over here to the 2 light gray walls. Starting on the left side, so from that block, you're going to place 3 blocks going diagonal down to the left. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And now place 2 blocks going across on the lower level to the left. It's 1, 2. And now place 3 blocks going diagonal down to the left. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to be placing 2 blocks going across on the lower level to the left. 1, 2. Let's switch over to the black wall now. We're going to be placing 2 black walls going across on top of these 2 light gray walls, so place 1, 2. And then place a linked 2 blocks going across. It's actually going to be 2 sets of 2 linked. So that's 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2. That's 2 sets of 2 linked blocks going across. So it looks exactly like this. Go ahead and pause the video now if you need to, just to compare. Now let's go back over here to the two black walls going across the first ones that we placed, starting on the left side of it. So from there, you're going to be placing 4 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to switch over to the placement block, put a placement block on the left side of this black wall, of the top block, the last one that we placed. Switch over to the black wall, starting underneath the placement block. So from there, place 5 blocks going diagonal down to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's get rid of those. So it should look like this. Okay, so now that we've got that done, what we're going to do next is, let us see, we're going to switch to, well, we're not going to switch to it yet. First, what I want you to do is, starting underneath the left block of these two light gray rolls, so starting from there, you're going to add 2 blocks going diagonal down to the left. That's 1 and 2. Okay, so now it should look like that. So now let's switch to the light gray wool, and we're going to fill in these 4 empty spaces here with the light gray wool. So let's fill those in. Alright, so now that we've got that, what we're going to do next is switch back to the black wool. Now, I want you to find this area here. It's right on top. These 2 black wools is right on top of these 2 light gray wools, and you can see on top of the left of these 2 black wools, there's an empty space between these 2 black wools. Now, with the black wool, starting from there, you're going to add 3 blocks going up. So that's 1, 2, 3. So it looks like that. Alright, so now this is where it's probably going to get annoying, at least with the pattern. For me instructing, it shouldn't be hard at all for you to follow because the instructions, just for me, it's going to be annoying for me because I have to figure out how I want to instruct this to you so you can completely understand it. So we're going to start off with the light gray wool, starting on top of this black wool. That's right next to the 3 blocks that we just placed going up with the black wool. With the light gray wool, starting from there, you're going to be placing 3 blocks going diagonal up to the right. That's 1, 2, and 3. Now you're going to be placing 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the right. It's 1, 2. And now, starting with, let's see, let's continue with this. Now, starting from that block, you're going to be placing 3 blocks going diagonal up to the right. Diagonal, that's 1, 2, and 3. And now place 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the right. That's 1 and 2. So it should look like this so far. Now place 2 blocks going diagonal up to the right. That's 1 and 2. Let's go back to these 2 light gray wools. Place 1 light gray wool on top of the left block of these 2. So place 1 there. And then 2 blocks going up on the right side. 1, 2. Now 1 block going diagonal up to the right. That's 1. Now place 2 blocks going up on the left side. 1, 2. And now 1 block going diagonal up to the right. That's 1. And it should look like this so far. Now let's go back to these 2 light gray wools going diagonal up to the right. Starting from that block, you're going to place 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the right. That's 1, 2. Now let's switch over to the black wool, starting on top of the right block of the 2 light gray wools. So starting from there, you're going to place 8 black wools going diagonal up to the right. 8 black wools. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 black wools. And let us move back down here, all the way back down. And I want you to find these two light gray walls going across that came right after these 3 blocks going diagonal from where we started from this pattern. So find these 2 black walls starting on top of the right block. So from there, you're going to be placing 4 black walls going diagonal up to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And it should look like this so far. Everything should look like this so far. So go ahead and pause the video now if you need to, just to compare. So now we're going to switch back over to the light gray wall, and let's go back over here to where we had the 2 light gray walls and the 8 blocks going there. Starting from that space, or really this space, because that's where we're going to go. You're going to be placing, let's see, you're going to be placing 1 light gray wall in this empty space, so place 1 there. And then you're going to place 2 sets of 2s going across on the upper level to the right. 2 sets of 2s. So it's 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2. Whoops, didn't mean to add that black wall. Let me switch this around. There we go. So it should look like that. And now 1 block going diagonal up to the right. That's 1. And now 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the right. 1, 2. Now we're going to switch over to the gray wall for just a moment. And let's go back over here to these 2 light gray walls. It should be right next to this block. On top of the right block and next to this 1 light gray wall, with the gray wall starting from there, you're going to be placing 7 blocks going diagonal up to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's get rid of those. So it looks like this. And now, to make this a lot easier, we're going to switch over to the stone block as well, because there is a way I wanted to make this so it can run smoother, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do it. You're going to be adding 7 blocks going diagonal up to the right with the stone block. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it should be making contact with the bottom block of these 2 light gray walls going across, specifically underneath the left one. Let's get rid of those. So it looks like that. Alright. Now let's switch back over to the light gray wall. Going back over here to where we left off with the 2 blocks going across. So you're going to be placing 1 block going diagonal up to the right. That's 1. And now 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the right. It's 1, 2. And now 1 block going diagonal up to the right. That's 1. Now we're going to switch over to the gray wall and place 1 gray wall on top of this light gray wall. That's 1 gray wall. And then place 1 on the left side of this block. So that's 1. So it looks like this. Let's switch back over to the light gray wall and continuing the path going up here. So we're going to start from there. You're going to be placing 2 sets of 2s going across on the upper level to the right. That's 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2. And now place 1 block going diagonal up to the right. That's 1. Now let's switch over to the stone block. Now with the stone block, you're going to be placing 1 stone block on top of this light gray wall. So that's 1. And place 1 block on the left side of this light gray wall. So that's 1. Now we're going to move down here to these 2 light gray walls going across that are making contact with these 2 light gray walls here. So it's not too far from there. Just move down here to these 2. Starting on top of the, let's see, we're starting on top of the left block. So starting from there, with the light gray wall, you're going to be placing 4 blocks going across, or with the stone block. With the stone block, you're going to be placing 4 blocks going across, or I can't do it today. You're going to be placing 4 blocks going diagonal up to the right with stone. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it looks like that. Alright, go ahead and pause the video now if you need to, just to compare. This is like the messy part. The light gray wall is really messing me up. It's just that, there's this easy pattern that I can instruct you on. It's just that I have to get rid of these annoying little light gray walls that I placed that are going every which way, going crisscross like this. The rest with the black wool and the the black wool, the gray wool, and eventually the bedrock. All of them are just easy patterns. Like this, for instance, I had you do the gray wool, and then immediately switching over to the stone and continuing the path up here. It's just the stupid light gray wool just goes every which way. It can't be a single direction. All right, that's enough of me venting my frustration with this pattern and why I was avoiding it. Now we're going to, let's see, are we done with the light gray wool? I believe we are, at least when it comes to this section. So we're going to continue focusing up here. And the blocks that we're going to be needing for this next part is, thank God, not this stupid light gray wool anymore, is the black wool, the gray wool, and the stone blocks. So switch to those. We're also going to be needing the white wool for later on, just for a small section here and there. So we're going to start off with the black wool. Let's move back down here to where we started with all of this going up. Going back to these 3 stone blocks. I can't really see it. It's not stone, by the way. I'm an idiot. It's not really stone. It's 3 black wools, but you can't really see the 3 black wools because we placed it. So we're just going to label it as 2 black wools. So going back to these 2 black wools, starting from the top block from there, what you're going to do is place 19 blocks going diagonal up to the right. 19. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's 19 blocks. Now we have to go all the way back down and get rid of all of these placement blocks. So it should look like this. Alright, let me double check. Yeah, I think it's actually going to be useful with placement blocks instead. Okay, so now that we have the 19, we're going to continue this path by going upwards by switching over to the gray wool now. Now with the gray wool, you're going to be adding 3 blocks going diagonal up to the right. So that's 1, 2, 3. As you can see, all we did was just continue the path. And now place 1 stone block going diagonal up to the left, or up to the right. Continuing the path, right. So that's 1. Now we're going to switch over to the white wool. Now this is why I had you switch over to the white wool before. Starting on the right side with the white wool, place 2 blocks going up. That's 1 and 2. And we're going to switch over to the stone block and place 1 stone block going diagonal up to the right. So that's 1. Alright, so now starting again from the top block of the white wool with the stone blocks, so starting from there, you're going to be placing, let's see, 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1 and 2. So it should look like that. And now moving to this 1 stone block here. So moving to that stone block. What you're going to be doing is, without actually messing this up, because I don't want to mess up my system that I have going, you're going to be placing 3 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1, 2, and 3. So it should look like this. Alright. Now we're going to double check over here just so we don't have to mess around with anything. I believe that's all that's left when it comes to those crazy crisscross patterns, or at least weird shapes. Alright, next we're going to be switching back over to the black wool. Now let's move back over here. This is pretty much the middle of the 19 black wools. Remember the 19 black wools going diagonal up to the right. Find the middle block, which is right here. Fortunately enough, it's right next to these light gray wools that are going every which way. Now, with the black wool, we're going to start underneath this 1 light gray wool that's next to the middle block of the 19, so starting underneath that block. So from there, with the black wool, place 10 blocks going diagonal up to the right. So we're going to have to switch this around. 10 black wools. So that's 1. Whoops. Starting underneath that light gray wool. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now let's get rid of the placement blocks. And let's go back up to the 10. Don't get it confused with the 8 that's down here. We're working on with the 10th one. Let's switch over to the gray wool, and we're going to add 3 blocks going diagonal up to the right. That's 1, 2, whoops, and 3. Now we're going to switch over to the stone block, and we're going to add 3 stone blocks going diagonal up to the right. That's 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to, ooh, stupid shadow glitch, apparently. There we go. Now we're going to switch back over to the gray wall, and now we're going to move to the last block, in other words, the top block of these 8 black walls going diagonal, if you remember. So moving back to that black wall, you're going to add 3 gray walls going diagonal up to the right. That's 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to switch over to the stone block, and we're going to add 4 stone blocks going diagonal up to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get rid of the placement blocks. So it looks like this. We're almost done with the stupid zigzag patterns, but when it comes to this next area, it's going to be a nightmare. But there are other parts with this pattern, but not with this, the silly gray wool that's going every which way. That's messing up the pattern, in my opinion, where I could just tell you to go in one single direction. Okay. We're going to move back again, all the way back down to here. Now, get used to this general area, because this is where we're going to be returning to over and over when it comes to going up here. So going back here to the 2 black wools that are going up, we're going to switch to the placement block, put a placement block on top of the, or on the left side of the top block of these 2 black wools. So place 1 placement block there. We're going, and guys, just to save me the trouble, I'm no longer going to be saying diagonal up to the right, diagonal up to the right, at least when it comes to this. Just save me the trouble, and just assume, unless I specifically tell you that, alright, I'm going to stop doing this, just to save me some air as well. Assume that we're going to be always placing them going diagonal up to the right. I'm not going to be saying it until we go to different parts of the pixel art. So no more diagonal up to the right, at least for this one part. So starting on top of the black wool, you're going to be placing 11 blocks. So again, guys, assume diagonal up to the right. 11 blocks, 11 black wools. That's 1, 2. Again, I forgot to do the stupid switch. Okay, that's 1, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now let's get rid of the placement blocks. Did I say 10 or 11? That was... I said 11, not 10. So the 11th block should be making contact right there. Even I'm getting confused. So I said 11 blocks. Now remember, we started with the placement block on the left side of that. So we started from there. And that was 11 blocks. And the 11th one should be making contact with the bottom block of these 2 light gray wools going up. Alright, now we're going to essentially continue the pattern by going to this light gray wool. Now from this light gray wool, we're going to add 7 more blocks going to the path. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's get rid of those. And now we're going to add, let's see, we're going to add, or switch I should say first. Let's switch. Okay, now that we switch, we're going to add 3 blocks now to the path. 3 gray wools, gray. That's 1, 2, and 3. Let's get rid of those. So it looks like that. Now we're going to move all the way back down to the starting point. This time we're going to switch over to the placement block and the black wall. Just so that. With the placement block, we're going to put a placement block on top of the first block of the 11 blocks. So put 1 placement block there. Switch over to the black wall, and starting on top of the placement block, so starting from there, you're going to be adding, I believe it is 18. Let's see if I'm correct. Going up. Yep, that would be 18. So you're going to be adding 18 blocks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, oh, 18, Felix, dang it. 18. So that's 18 blocks. Let's get rid of those. Okay. That's a long 18. Now we're going to add 4 grays going to the path. So add 4 grays. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Should be making contact with the stone block. So it looks like that. Now we're going to move all the way back down. You've guessed it, going back all the way down. This time, we're always going to start from the last part of where we just left off. So instead of starting from the 2, we started from here, and now we started from here. So we're going to start from this next one, from where we left off at the beginning of the path. So now with the placement block, what you're going to do next is put a placement block. This is going to be a little weird. Put a placement block on the left side, I believe. Oh, this pattern is so freaking confusing. So I'm never going to do a pattern that involves checkers with adding crisscross and whatnot. It's just a hassle instructing it. So we're going to switch back over to the black wool, and if I'm not mistaken, we're going to start from there, putting a placement block on the left side of it. So starting with the black wool from there. This next one should be 17. 17 blocks going to the path. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's 17 blocks. Now let's get rid of these. All of it must go. Alright. And now we're going to switch over to the gray. And with the gray, we're going... Whoops. I thought my battery died there for a second. And with the gray, we're going to add 4 blocks. 4 grays. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get rid of those. I believe it's 4 grays. Yeah, it is. Okay. Now we're going to just add 1 stone block to the path. That's 1. And it should be making contact with this one here. Now we're going to move all the way back down. Switching over to the placement block, starting from the first one that we left off. We're going to be putting, let's see, a placement block on the left, I believe it is. So place it there. Switch over to the black wool. Now, starting on top of the placement block, we're going to be placing, if this was 17, now we're going to be placing 16 blocks to the path. That's 1, 2, Felix, switch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I missed that switch, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 blocks. Alright, let's get rid of these. And now we're going to be adding 4 grays to the path. So 4 gray wools. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to add 3 stone blocks. 3 stone. That's 1, 2, and 3. Should be making contact with the light gray wool. So everything is going smoothly so far. Now we're going to head back over here, and I believe we're going to be putting a placement block on top of this black wool here. So put 1 placement block there. That on top of that placement block is going to be our starting point. So with the black wool, so from there, you're going to be adding 13, just 13 blocks, 13 black. So let's switch this, 13 black. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's 13 blocks. Let's get rid of those. And now we're going to be adding 5 gray wolves. That's 5. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to be adding 4. Is it 4? I don't know. Is it 3? It's 3. We're going to add 3 stone blocks. Alright, 3 stone. It's 1, 2, and 3. So it looks like that. Now we're going to move back down and switch over to the placement block. And now we're going to, if I'm not mistaken, again, we're going to be putting a placement block on the left side this time of the black wall. So place one there. Switch over to the black wall, starting on top of the placement block. We're going to be adding 11 blocks going up to the path. That's 1, 2. Oh, again, Felix, stupid Felix didn't switch it up. Alright, that's 1. That we already placed that right there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's get rid of those. And now we're going to switch over to the gray. And we're going to add 3 grays to the path. 3 gray wolves. 1, 2, 3. Now switch over to the stone and add 5 stone blocks going up to the path. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's get rid of those. So it looks like that. Now let's go back over. Switching over to the placement block, we're going to be putting a placement block this time on top of the black wall. So one placement block there. Switch over to the black wall, starting on top of the placement block. So starting from there, you're going to be adding 8 black walls going up to the path. 8. So that's 1. Again, Felix not switching. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8 blocks. And now you're only going to add 2 gray wolves going to the path. That's 1 and 2. And now add 5 stone blocks going up to the path. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get rid of the placement blocks. And let's head back down to the beginning. Switching over to the placement block, this time we're going to be putting it on the left side, so put 1 placement block there. Switch over to the black wall. Starting on top of the placement block, we're going to add 6 black walls going to the path. That's 1, 2, again. You can't blame me, there's just too much switching going on. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's get rid of those. And now it's raining, so we'll be right back after this goes away. So now we're going to add, let's see, we're going to add 2 gray wolves. Alright, we're on the gray, so we're going to add 2 gray wolves going, or continuing the path. Oh, that's 1 and 2. And now we're going to add 4 stone blocks. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get rid of those, and let's go back to the beginning. We're going to put a placement block on top of the black wall, and then we're going to switch back to the black wall this time. And this time we're going to add 4 blocks going up to the path. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get rid of those. And now we're going to add just 1 gray wall. That's 1. And now we're going to add 3 stone blocks. So we don't need to place it. So that's 1, 2, and 3. That's 3 stones. Now let's head back over here to the beginning. Put 1 placement block, and all we're going to do is add 2 black walls. That's 1 and 2. Let's get rid of that. And it should look like this. Alright, so the next part, I need you to be very careful with this part. We're going to fill in 1 single area. And it's this single empty space. Now, I don't want you to get overzealous and accidentally go over this black wall outline and fill in one of these empty spaces. So be very careful on where you fill it in. It's just going to be this single empty space here, staying within the outline. So let's fill in this empty space with the black wool. Another small little filling in section. Alright, and when you're done filling it in, it should look like this. Now let's move down here to this next area. I can't really, let's see, I would have to say maybe the bottom part was probably, yeah, I could see the bottom part actually being more annoying than the top part. Alright, so let's just dive right into this. How am I going to do this? It's a little more confusing because I can't get the light gray wool out of the way. So we'll just start from the very bottom of this empty space and we'll just work with what, where we start from and where we end. So let's start off with the black wool, and let's move down here to these 3 black wools at the very bottom of this empty space. Okay, so we're going to start from the middle block, starting from there. You're going to be placing, again guys, it's going to be up to the right, diagonal up to the right. So it's going to be 5 blocks to the path. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get rid of those. And now you're going to add 14 gray. 14 gray. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. That's 14 gray. We're almost done with this annoying pattern. Alright, now that we've got 14 gray, we're going to switch back over to the black wool. And with the black wool, we're going to add 6 black. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's get rid of those. And now we're going to be placing, or we're going to be switching, I should say, switching to the gray. And place 1 gray. That's 1. And it should look like this. Alright. And let's see, should we start from there? I might as well. Alright, let's switch over to the placement block and put a placement block on the right side of the gray wool. Now we're going to switch over to the light gray wool. Starting on top of the placement block, you're going to be placing 5 blocks going across to the left. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to stick with the placement block because we want to get rid of this light gray wool. Alright, with the light gray wool, starting on the left side, so from there, you're going to be placing 5 sets of 2s going across on the lower level to the left. 5 sets of 2s. It's 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 5. That's 5 sets of 2s. Now you're going to be placing 2 blocks going diagonal down to the left. 2 blocks diagonal, that's 1 and 2. Now 2 blocks going down on the left side. 1, 2. And let's see, we'll leave it at that. We'll go back up here, and what are we gonna do? I think we'll leave it at that. Alright, what else should we do before we switch to a different type of block? We'll leave it there. Because I'm trying to get rid of, again, like for instance, this area kind of thing. weird patterns. There are a few, but we'll leave it until we get there. So let's go back to the beginning. Start off with the black wool. And as you can see, there is still one empty space here. So there's like an empty space and empty space. This is going to be an empty space, so we're going to move one block over. I'll put a placement block right there. That's going to be where we start with the black wool, okay? So starting from there, you're going to be adding 4 black wools. That's 1, 2, 3. Oops, messed that up. 4. So that's 4. So it should look like that, making contact with the second gray here. Now we're going to switch over to the light gray wool, because this is, again, another part where it kind of goes a different path. Starting on the left side, so from there, or the right side. Starting from the right side, you're going to be placing 2 light gray wools going up. That's 1, 2. Now 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1 and 2. Now 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the right. 1, 2. And now place 6 blocks going diagonal up to the left. Or right. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give me a break. And 6. I'm just doing back-to-back long tutorial parts. And left and right might as well be the same. Because I've said it over a million times. I'm pretty sure I've said left and right more than you have combined. Doesn't matter your age. Probably sure I've said the word left and right so many times that they practically might as well be the same word to me. Alright, so now that we have got these 6 blocks here, what we're going to do next is, let's see, I think we're going to keep it there. So now that we've got the 6, we're going to leave it alone, and we're going to switch back over to the black wool. Now with the black wool, we're going to move to here, this area, and we're going to start underneath the 2 light gray wools. So starting from there, we're going to add 5 black wools going up. So that's 1, 2. I keep forgetting every time. I hate you, light gray wool. I hate you. Alright, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so it should look like that. It should end with it underneath the right block. And now we're going to add 7 gray wools to the path that goes up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now that we've got these 7 gray wools, what we're going to do is add 6 black wools to the path. So let's switch this around. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's get rid of those. And now we're going to switch over to the light gray wool. Now with the light gray wool, we're going to add 5 blocks to the path. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Okay. I chuckled there because I said something that the mic probably didn't pick up. The mic probably didn't pick up because it was a bad word, because I hate you so much, light gray wool. You just caused me so much pain. Alright, so now we're going to switch over, and by the way, that bad word pretty much expressed how I felt about the light gray wool. And now we're going to switch over to the gray wool. Now with the gray wool in hand, we're going to level ourselves out with the last gray wool of the 5 that we added here, and we're going to stay on the same row, row, and we're going to move over here. And now we're going to start on the left side of this gray wool of the 2 blocks. So starting right there with the, not the gray wool, what am I doing? With the stone block on the left side of this light gray wool, I should say. So starting from there with the same level. Starting from there, what you're going to do is add 9 blocks going diagonal up to the left. 9 blocks diagonal up to the left. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And it should be making contact with the middle block of these 3 blocks going across. So let's get rid of those. And it should look like this. Now from this area, what we're going to do is just move up here, and starting underneath this light gray wall, you're just going to add 4 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it should look like this. Okay, so now that we've got that, we're going to move up here, back to where we had the 9 blocks. And what you're going to do is move over here to the left to this one light gray wall. Now, starting from that one light gray wall, what you're going to do is place 5 stone blocks going diagonal down to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's 5 blocks with stone, so it should look like this. Now we're going to switch over to the gray wall, and we're going to add 2 gray walls going diagonal down to the right. 2 gray walls diagonal. That's 1, 2. With gray. Alright, so now what we're going to do next is starting from this gray wall, the one that's higher, this one, you're going to be placing 1 block going diagonal down to the left. That's 1. And then 1 block going diagonal up to the left. That's 1. And then 1 block going diagonal down to the left. And that's 1. Now we're going to skip a space on this light gray wall, and we're going to start from there. So starting from there, you're going to be placing 3 blocks going diagonal up to the right. That's 1, 2, and 3. Get rid of those, so it should look like this. And we are pretty much almost done with the annoying patterns of all of this, but just to make sure, let's see, any more annoying patterns out there? I believe there might be a few left, so let's get rid of those. So what we're going to do first is switch over to the white wall. Here we go with the white wall. Switching over to the white wall, let's go over to this one light gray wall. Starting on the left side of it, place 1 white wall. That's 1. And then 2 blocks going down on the left side. 1, 2. Now place 1 block going diagonal down to the left. That's 1. Now we're going to switch over to the stone block. And we're going to move to the bottom block of the 2 white walls going down, starting on the right side of it. So starting from there, you're going to be placing 2 blocks going diagonal down to the right. That's 1 and 2. Now we're going to switch over to the gray wall. With the gray wall, moving over here to this light gray wall, starting underneath it. So from there, place 3 blocks going diagonal down to the right. That's 1, 2, and 3. And it should look like this. And now starting from that block, you're going to be placing 2 blocks going diagonal down to the left. That's 1 and 2. Now starting from the middle block, or not the middle block, I should say, starting from that block, because this kind of looks like it's 3. But starting from that block right there, you're going to be placing 2 blocks going diagonal down to the right. That's 1 and 2. And it should look exactly like this so far. Alright, so now what we're going to do next is switch over to the stone block. And let's move back over to this gray wall. This gray wall here. You're going to be placing 4 stone blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's 4. Now we're going to switch over to the gray wall and switch to the placement block. Now with the placement block starting underneath this stone block, you're going to be placing 1 placement block there. Then you're going to switch over to the gray wall. Starting on the left side of the placement block, you're going to be placing 4 gray walls going diagonal down to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get rid of those. So it looks like that. Now you're going to be placing one placement block underneath this gray wool. That was part of the 4. Or, yeah, it was supposed to be 4. Wait, this is 1, 2. Okay, it is. It is. I'm getting ahead of myself with this not being, or not supposed to being here. So let's get rid of that. I don't understand why I placed 5. Unless I told you to place 5. It's supposed to be 4 regardless. Just long day. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's supposed to be 4. Alright, now we're going to be placing one placement block underneath this gray wool. So that's 1. I hate you, pattern. I hate you. Starting on the left side of the placement block, starting from there, you're going to be placing 5 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Get rid of the placement blocks, and it should look like this. Now, I do recommend pausing the video because I might have accidentally said 5 when I meant 4 the first time. So this is 4 here, and here it's 5. So make sure to pause the video and make sure it looks exactly like this. I mean, I've told you so many times why I just didn't want to do this pattern, but I might as well get this out of the way first. Because after this, everything else is so much easier to instruct you on. Alright, let's go back over here to the 4 stone blocks that we had here going up to the left. Starting from that block, the top block, you're going to be placing 2 blocks going diagonal up to the right. That's 1 and 2. Now from that block, you're going to be placing 1 block going diagonal up to the left. That's 1. So it should look exactly like this. Now, with all of that being placed, I believe we are completely done with these annoying little every which way, and we can go back to placing the blocks like this smoothly. Now, we see that we have a path going up here, but in between it, there's supposed to be a path, and it's empty right here. So let's go to this area here, and where we should start is from that block on top of this light gray wool. Again, I'll fly back a bit. It shouldn't be too hard at all to find because there is an empty line here. It has to be like this. We're going to go with this pattern, like going up to the left. So as you can see, there is a line that's missing. So we're going to fly over here to these 2 light gray wools going across, and we're going to start off with the gray wool. Let's get these blocks all in order. Alright, starting off with the gray wool, and starting on top of the right block of the light gray wool, you're going to be adding 8 blocks going up to the path. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now you're going to place 5 black wools. So switching to the black 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now 1 gray wool. That's 1. And now you're going to place 3 light gray wools. That's 1, 2, and 3. And it should make a perfect match. Now we're going to fly down here and find the next row. Shouldn't be too hard to find at all because you should know that we're doing a pattern again. And obviously we're going to start off with the black wool. So starting from right there, again, should not be at all at this point difficult for you to follow because we are doing a pattern. So starting from there, what you're going to do next is place 6 black wools. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get rid of those. And now 2 gray wools. 2 gray. 1 and 2. Now we're going to place 7 black wools. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's get rid of those. And now 5 light gray wools. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 light gray wools. Now let's go all the way back to the very next spot that's available, which is right there. And again, the very next spot should always be connecting with a black wall that's over here on the left. So finding the next spot to where to start is right there. And we're going to be placing 13 black walls. That's 1, 2. Whoops, forgot to switch. Alright, so that was 1 that we already placed. That's 2. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. That's 13 black walls, and it should be making contact with that 1 gray wall there. Let's get rid of all those, and let's go back up to that 1. Alright, now from that 1 block, that 1 gray, you're going to be placing 3 light gray walls. That's 1, 2, and 3. Let's get rid of those. Again, it should make a perfect match. Now we're going to fly back down, switch over to the black. And again, finding the next spot to start. Shouldn't be hard at all. Starting from there, you're going to add 11 black walls this time. 11. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. It should be making contact with the gray wall. And we do not have to go any further than that because, as you can see, we already completed the match up here. So now with the black wool, remaining with the black wool, let's go back down here and find the next area to start on, which is there. And this time we're going to be placing, let's see, we're going to be placing 8 black walls. 8. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 black walls. And again, should be make a perfect match. It's making a perfect match. Okay. Now let's go down, and you're going to be placing 6 blocks to the path. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's get rid of those. Next, starting back down here, you're going to be placing 4 black walls. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to move back down here again, and this time you're going to be placing another 4 black walls. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get rid of those, and now you're going to be placing 3 black walls. That's 1, 2, 3. And to finish this one part off, you're just going to be placing 1 black wall there, where it should start. So that's 1. See? Whoops. We placed it right there. So that's 1. And now we can fly back a bit, and you can see that it's almost halfway done with just this bottom area here. So, what we're going to do next is fly all the way back down here to where we started for this bottom section, which is right there. And we're going to be switching over to a placement block and putting a placement block on, or next to the left side of this black wall where we started, so from there. You're going to switch over to the black wall starting on the top of this placement block, or this placement block that we placed. Starting on top of the placement block with the black wall, you're going to add 5 black walls going up to the path. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 black walls. And now you're going to be switching over to the gray wall and place 15 gray walls. That's 15 gray. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. We're in double digits now. And it's only going to be increasing from here on in. But we're almost done with this pattern. So that's 15. Now we're going to switch back over to the black wall. And with the black wall, we're going to be adding 4 blocks going up to the path. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Get rid of those. And now you're going to be adding 1 gray wall to the path. That's 1 gray. It's 1. Now let's fly all the way back down. And we're going to move to the next available area that you would assume that is, and it's not there. It's not there. Whoops. It's going to be skipping a space and starting from there. It shouldn't be hard to find. So it's going to be on top of the middle block of these 3 black walls across. So starting from there, what you're going to be doing next is you're going to add 7 black walls going up to the path. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's get rid of those. And now we're going to switch over to the gray. And this time you're going to be adding 17 gray walls going up to the path. 17. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Another perfect match. So let's go back down while getting rid of all of these placement blocks. There we go. And now we're going to switch over to the placement block, and from the black wall that we started with, on the left side this time, you're going to be placing 1 placement block there. So it looks like this. Now we're going to switch over to the black wall, starting on top of the placement block. You're going to be placing, let us check this out. As confusing as this is going to be, before we start doing anything, let's go up here. Or we could just start from here, never mind. Because now I'm going to make it confusing. Alright, so we had that placement block there. Now starting on top of that placement block, you're going to be placing 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1 and 2. Get rid of those. And it should look exactly like this so far. Alright. Now, we're going to switch over to the placement block. And from this 1 black wall, that's like a V shape here, the bottom part of a V shape, you're going to be placing 1 placement block there. And I'll fly back a bit so you can see. Okay. Now, we're going to switch over to the black wall. Now, starting on top of this placement block, so starting from there, you're going to be adding 8 black walls going up to the path. 8. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoops. Oh my god, I just messed that up. 7 and 8. So it should look like this. Alright, let's get rid of the placement blocks. And now we're going to switch over to the gray wall. And with the gray, we're going to add 20... getting ahead of myself. You're going to add 12. 12 blocks going up to the right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. That's 12 gray walls. And it should be another perfect match. Let's get rid of these placement blocks. And now that we've made a perfect match, you can see that from the gray wall that we just placed, the gray wall path that we just finished, if we follow the path, it going diagonal up to the right, you can see that's 1. See this path that goes up? Just following this path, boom, there's nothing here. It should start from there. So that's where we're going to start. You can use the placement block as guides to keep track of the path that we just placed. So that's where we're going to start. That's the next empty space. So, starting from there, from the 12 that we just placed, we're going to switch over to the gray wall. Starting from there, you're going to be adding 3 gray walls going up to the path. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Again, you guys should be using the placement blocks. And then you're going to be switching over to, let's see, what are we going to switch over to after this? We're going to switch over to the stone. There we go. I was looking for the stone. Now with the stone, you're going to be adding 3 stones going up to the path. That's 1, 2, and 3. Get rid of those. And it should be another perfect match. And we're going to do that again later on. So or sooner than later. So it should look like this. Now we're going to fly back down again. This time there's another V shape here. Another V shape. We're going to switch over to the placement block and put a black wall on top of the lowest black wall of the V. So it should look like this. Now let's switch back over to the black wall, starting on top of the placement block. So starting from there, this time you're going to be adding 9 black walls going up to the path. 9. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That's 9 black walls. Let's get rid of those. And now that we've placed the 9, you're going to be placing 2 gray walls going up to the path. So let's switch over to the gray by placing 2 of them going up to the right. So that's 1 and 2. Again, I don't want to confuse you guys with saying going up to the right. Going up to the right means it goes up on the right side, and it doesn't mean diagonal. So again, anything I say, don't get it confused for future terms, because up to the right looks like this. Here, I'll show you. And some of you guys should know by now. So if I say up to the right, like if I say 2 blocks up to the right, it should look like this. 1, 2. That's up to the right. Don't get it confused when I say up to the right in this area. Anything I say here does not matter. It always means up to diagonal up to the right. So I just want to keep saying diagonal up to the right, diagonal up to the right. Okay, so that's 2 blocks up to the right to the path, and now we're going to switch over to the light gray wall, and we're going to be placing 2 of them going up to the path. That's 1 and 2. It should be another perfect match. And of course, following this path, you can see that that's where we reach the bottom block of these 2 blocks. But then something else should be here, right there. Something else should be there, and that something else is going to be gray wall. So let's switch over to the gray wall, again, following this path that we created. Starting from there, you're going to be adding 3 grays going up to the path. That's 1, 2, 3. So it should look like this. And if we follow it, continue following the diagonal path, boom, 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 boom. There's nothing here, so this is where we're going to start. We're going to start by placing 3 of them going up to the right, diagonal up to the right. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Let's get rid of those blocks, so it should look like this. Now that we've placed these 3 grays, what we're going to do next is switch over to the stone block. So let's switch to the stone. And now with the stone, you're going to add 6 of them. 6 stone blocks going diagonal. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's get rid of those. And again, it should be a perfect match. Now, we're going to fly down here, and I believe we're only going to have to do that one more time, because there is this little bump here and there. Alright, so let's go back down, again, to a smaller V shape. And we're going to switch over to the placement block and put it on top of the lowest part of the V, which is right there, that black wall. Now we're going to switch over to the black wall. Starting on top of that placement block, we're going to add 8 black walls going up to the path. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 black walls. Get rid of those. Now we're going to switch over to the gray wall. And with the gray wall, this time we're going to add 10 gray walls going up to the path. 10. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 gray walls. Let's get rid of those placement blocks. And let's go back up. Now what you're going to do is place 10 stone blocks. So switching over to the stone, you're going to be placing 10 stone blocks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's 10 stone blocks. Let's get rid of the placement blocks. So it should look like that. Alright, so let's go back down. Again, now it kind of looks like a weird V because we have the linked blocks here, but again, switching over to the placement block, putting a placement block on top of that black wall, switching over to the black wall, because we're almost done with this part. I'm really happy that I'm almost done with this. Switching over to the black wall, starting on top of that placement block, what you're going to do is add 4 black walls going up, That's 1. To the left, to the right, of course. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 to the path. And now we're going to switch over to the gray wool, and we're going to add 10 gray wools going up to the path. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's 10 gray wools. Alright. Now we're going to be placing 13 stones going up to the path. 13. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 13 stones. Let's get rid of those. And let's go back down. Again, switching over to the placement block. And putting a placement block on top of this black wall. Right there. You're going to switch over to the black, and this time we're going to add 4 black walls going up to the path. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get rid of those. Switch to the gray. Add 7 grays going up to the path. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whoops, and 7. That's 7 grays. Now we're going to switch over to the stone block, and we're going to add 11 stones going up to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now we're going to get rid of all of these placement blocks. And we're going to head down, and this time we're going to do it a little differently. We're going to switch over to the black wool, and starting from the black wool that we're going to start with the placement block, and going back to the black wool here on the left side, we're going to be placing 1 placement block. So it looks like that. Then we're going to switch over to the black wool. Now starting on top of the placement block, so starting from there, you're going to be placing 5 black wools going up to the path. That's 1. Oops, forgot to switch it. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're going to add 5 gray wools going up to the path. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get rid of those. And now place 7 stone blocks going up to the path. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 stones. And now we're going to move back down again, and we're going to switch over to the placement block. And with the placement block going back to the black wool that we started from, we're going to put 1 placement block on top of that. And then we're going to switch over to the black wool. Starting on top of the placement block, you're going to add 4 blocks going up to the path. That's 1. Again, forgot to switch it. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get rid of those. Now, with the gray wool, you're going to add 3 gray wools going up to the path. That's 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to switch over to the stone block. And we're going to add 4 stone blocks going up to the path. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And thank goodness we are finally done with this stupid, annoying pattern. Oh my god, it brings me such relief. Alright, now we're going to switch over to the black wool. Now be very careful with this part again. With the black wool, we're going to move over here to the left side. You can see that there's this empty space here. Staying within the outline, do not cross over any black wools. You're going to fill in this area here with the black wool. So let's fill this empty space here with the black wool. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so yes, 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 yes. There is going to be, I believe, 3 more smaller areas, much, much smaller than this, that involve similar patterns to this, but it won't be as annoying as this was to instruct. So, whew, we finally did it. We finished this weird, annoying pattern. So, congratulations. Give yourself a pat on the back that you actually managed to stick through it. Ah, and we have some weird, stupid shadow glitch over there. Let me take care of that. There we go. Alright, so for this next part, I'm going to time-lapse this, because this is going to take a while. For the next part, we're going to switch over to the bedrock, and you are going to fill in every single empty space that you see in this pattern. You're going to fill it in with the bedrock. So do that now. And when you are done filling it in, it should look like this. Alright, so now we are going to be switching... Actually, let's just put every single block away to make it less complicated. We're going to be switching over to the black wall. So now with the black wall, I'm actually thinking of making this the second to last instead of the last tutorial, because it is extremely long, and it's getting to be late. It's already 8, let's see what time it is. It's 8:11, and there's still 2 more videos, 2 separate different videos that doesn't involve this tutorial that I have to record. Alright, so let's go up here to this area that's next to the pattern that we created, finally finished. Going up here to the 2 blocks going up, and then the 2 blocks going diagonal up to the right. What we're going to do is switch over to the placement block and put a placement block on top of this black wall. Switch back over to the black wall, starting on the right side of this placement block. So starting from there, you're going to add 5 black walls going up. Or going down, going down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now place 4 blocks going down on the right side. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now place 2 blocks going across on the lower level to the right. That's 1, 2. Now 3 blocks going across on the lower level to the right. That's 1, 2, 3. And now place 2 blocks going across on the lower level to the right. That's 1, 2. Whoops, that's 1, 2. And now 2 blocks going up on the right side. 1, 2. Now place 1 block going diagonal up to the right. That's 1. And then place 1 block going diagonal down to the right. That's 1. And now 2 blocks going down on the right side. 1, 2. And 1 block going diagonal down to the right. 1. Now place 6 blocks going down on the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It should be making contact with these blocks here. Now we're going to move back to the top block of these 6 blocks going down on the right, and on the right side of the top block, you're going to be placing 1 black wall. So that's 1. And now place 8 blocks going across on the lower level to the right. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now place 1 black wall underneath the right block of the 8 blocks. Place 1 block there. So it should look like this. Now starting from the right block of the 8, you're going to count 3 blocks into the, or not 3, excuse me, 2 blocks into the left. So this being the first block that you count. So this is 1, and this is 2. Now starting on top of this black wall, starting from there, you're going to add 3 black walls going up. That's 1, 2, 3. So it should look like that. Now we're going to move over here to the left, and we're going to move back up here to this 1 block that came after these 2 blocks going up on the right. So moving to that 1 black wall, you're going to be placing 7 black walls going up on the left side. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's get rid of that placement block. And then let's go back up. Now you're going to be placing 2 sets of 2s going up on the right side. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2. And now place 1 block going diagonal up to the right. That's 1. And now starting on top of this 1 black wall, so starting from there, you're going to add 9 blocks going across to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now place 3 blocks going across on the lower level to the right. That's 1, 2, 3. And now you're going to switch over to the sand block. And with the sand, you're going to add 3 sand blocks going across on top of these 3 black walls. It's 1, 2, 3. Switch over to the black wall. Place 1 black wall on the right side of the sand. That's 1. And then place 3 black walls on top of the 3 sand blocks. That's 1, 2, 3. Now starting from the left block of these 3 black walls, so from there, you're going to add 3 blocks going across on the upper level to the left. It's 1, 2, 3. And now place 4 blocks going across on the upper level to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now place 9 blocks going across on the upper level to the left. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know why I thought it was supposed to place only 5, but that's 9. You have to place 9 blocks going across, like I said. So now that we've placed the 9, you're going to be placing 1 block going diagonal down to the left. That's 1. And now 2 blocks going down on the left side. 1, 2. Now place 3 blocks going down on the left side. 1, 2, 3. And now place 2 blocks going down on the left side. 1, 2. And it should look exactly like this so far. Now, we're going to move to this area that we have a total of 5 empty spaces, 2 of them going up to the right, and then down here, 3 of them going up to the right. We're going to focus on the 2 that go up to the right, so these 2 here. You're going to fill only these 2 with the black wool, so fill those 2 in with black. Then you're going to switch over to the spruce wood, not the planks, but the wood. With the spruce wood, you're going to fill in these 3 empty spaces going up to the right with the spruce wood. Fill those in. Then move over here and fill in this empty space here with the spruce wood. Fill that in. So it should look like this. And let's see, we're going to switch over to the brown wool now. And with the brown wool, let's see, let me mute my mic because I have to cough. I didn't mute it, I just moved my mic away. So with the brown wool, moving to this area, let's see, there should be 3 empty spaces, not including this enormous one, but there should be 3 empty spaces. The one on the left, the one on the right, and the one down here. We're going to move to this empty space here, down here, and we're going to start going up here to the right corner of this empty space to where we have these 2 black wools and then this 1 black wool here. We're going to start underneath this 2 black wools by placing 1 brown wool, so place 1 brown wool there. Then we're going to move up here to the left. Starting underneath this black wool, we're going to add 3 brown wools going down. It's 1, 2, 3. So it should look like this. Alright, so for this next part, it's going to be time-lapsed, so pay close attention. For this, we're going to be needing the spruce wood. Now, in this empty space here that we were just working on, this empty space gets filled in with the spruce wood. Once you've done that, you're going to switch over to the black wool and move up here. And this single empty space here gets filled in with the black wool. So do that now. And when you're done filling it in, it should look like this. So now we're going to move up here to this small empty space that's close and underneath his neck. To this empty space, what we're going to be needing for this part, we're going to put all this away to make it less confusing. First, we're going to start off with the orange wool. So let's start off with the orange wool, and we're going to move all the way over here to the right side of this empty space, starting next to this black wool down here on the right. From there, you're going to be placing 4 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to be switching over to the spruce wood planks. So let's switch over to the spruce wood planks. Starting down here, this time on the left side of the orange wool, you're going to be placing 3 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to be switching over to the brown wool, and with the brown wool, this time starting on the left side of the spruce wood planks, you're going to be placing 3 brown wools going diagonal up to the left. That's 1, 2, and 3. Now let's switch over to the jungle wood planks, and with the jungle wood planks, you're going to fill in this empty space up here with the jungle wood planks. Fill that in. And then we're going to switch over to the spruce wood and fill in this empty space here with spruce wood. So it should look like this. Now we're going to switch back over to the black wool. So let's switch to that. And we're going to fly back over here to the right, where we had these 3 sand blocks. Starting from this 1 black wool that we placed here on the right, we're going to place, let's see, 1 more black wool going diagonal up to the right to close this off. So that's 1. And it should look like this. Now we're going to work on this large empty space that we had left behind. So let's work on this by switching over to the orange wool. Now with the orange wool going over here, starting on top of the left block of these 9 black wools going across. So starting from there, you're going to be placing 5 blocks going diagonal down to the left, starting on top. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's get rid of those. Now place 3 blocks going down on the left side. 1, 2, 3. And 1 block going diagonal down to the right. That's 1. Now let's move to the bottom block of the 3 blocks going down, starting on the left side. So from there, you're going to place 2 blocks going down on the left. Or diagonal down on the left. That's 1 and 2. So it should look exactly like this. Now we're going to switch over to the gold block. We're also going to be using the yellow wool, so we might as well switch to that. And we're also going to use the pumpkin. Let's switch to that. But starting off with the gold block, we're going to move over here to the right. And starting on top of this black wool, you're going to add 2 gold blocks going up. That's 1, 2. And then 2 more gold blocks going up on top of these 2 black wools. So that's 1, 2. Now we're going to switch over to the orange wool and fill in these 3 empty spaces here with the orange wool. So let's do that now. So it looks like this. Now let's go back to the first block that we placed, this first orange wool here. Starting from this orange wool, you're going to be placing 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the left. So let's switch this around. So that's 1, 2. And now place a linked 3 blocks going across on the upper level to the left. That's 1, 2, 3. So it should look like that. Now we're going to switch over to the yellow wool, and on the right side of these orange wools, all we're going to do is add 3 blocks going diagonal on up to the left. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's 3 yellow wools. And now that we've got that, what you're going to do next is switch over to the gold block, and with the gold block, we're going to fill in this empty space here with the gold block. So let's fill this in with gold. And then once we've filled that in with gold, what you're going to do next is fly over here to this empty space, and we're going to move all the way down, and we're going to switch over to the brown wool. So let's switch over to the brown wool. At the very bottom of these 2 black wools going across. On top of it, you're going to be placing 2 brown wools going across. That's 1, 2. Now we're going to switch over to the spruce wood planks. Now with the spruce wood planks starting on top of the left block of the brown wool, so starting from there, you're going to add 3 blocks going across to the left. That's 1, 2, 3. Now from here, we're going to move to the right, and starting on top of these 2 black wools, and on the left side of this black wool, you're going to be placing 1 spruce wood plank. So that's 1. So it should look like this. Next, we're going to switch over to the pumpkin, and with the pumpkin, you're going to be filling in this single area here with the pumpkin. So do that now. And when you're done filling it in, it should look like this. So now we're going to be switching, let's see, we're going to put this away, all of it away, to make it less confusing. We're going to be switching over to the brown wool for this next part. So let's switch over to the brown wool, and let's move to this next area here, to this empty space that's above. We're going to move over here to this 1 black wool that's on top of these 9 black wools going across. Now we're going to skip a space going into the right, so skipping that space, starting from there. With the brown wool, you're going to be placing 1 brown wool there. And starting on top of the brown wool, you're going to place 2 brown wools going across to the right. That's 1, 2. Now let's switch over to the spruce wood planks, and with the spruce wood planks, fill in this empty space here with spruce wood planks. Fill that in. Now we're going to move all the way, remaining in this empty space, we're going to move all the way to the right, switching over to the brown wool again, starting on top of this 1 black wool that's next to the sand. Place 1 brown wool. Now we're starting on top of this 1 black wool. Alright, place 1 brown wool, and now place 2 brown wools going across to the left, starting on top of this brown wool. So that's 1, 2. And then place 1 brown wool going diagonal up to the left. That's 1. Now let's switch back over to the spruce wood planks and fill in this empty space here with spruce wood. So let's fill that in. Now we're going to switch over to the spruce wood, not the planks, but the wood. You're going to fill in the remaining empty space down here with the spruce wood. So do that now. Let's fill this in. So it should look exactly like this. Now let's go up to the next level, and we're going to be switching over to the, to the brown wool. And we're going to move down here to the bottom right on top of these 2 black wools. Starting from the left one, you're going to be placing just 1 brown wool there. And then starting on top of this 1 brown wool, place 2 brown wools going across to the left. 1, 2. And then 1 block going diagonal up to the left. That's 1. Then switch over to the spruce wood planks and fill in these 2 empty spaces here with spruce wood planks. Once you've done that, we're going to move over here to the left of this empty space, switching over to the brown wool, and with the brown wool starting on top of the right block of these 2 black wools going across. So from there, place 2 brown wools going across to the right. I'm trying to rush this part. That's 1 and 2. And then place 1 block going diagonal up to the right. That's 1. Switch over to the spruce wood planks and fill in these 2 empty spaces here with the spruce wood. So it should look like that. Now we're going to switch over to the spruce wood and fill in the remaining empty space here with the spruce wood. Let's fill that in. So it should look like this. And now we're going to continue filling in this rest part, and once I do that, then the tutorial will be over. I know I said I was going to make this into the final tutorial, but I didn't anticipate how long this part would be. I knew it would be long, but I'm already well over 2 hours. I'm not sure if the video is going to be over 2 hours, but I am about 2.5 hours into recording time with all of this, but it will be edited down, so it will be easy to follow. So it's close to 3 hours, to be honest, of just the whole recording time, not the stuff that you guys won't see. Alright, so let's see. We're going to switch back over to the brown wool. And with the brown wool, this is kind of a confusing pattern. Hopefully it won't be too confusing for me to instruct you. Alright, so first we're going to be switching back and forth between the spruce wood and the brown wool, and we're going to remain on the right side of this entire thing. So first, we're going to switch to the spruce wood planks. So with the spruce wood planks, place 1 block there. Switch over to the brown wool, place 1 brown wool there. Now let's go to the next level up to the right, so it would be this here. Place 1 spruce wood plank. Now, going up to the left, the next level, we're going to place 1 spruce wood plank, and then 1 brown wool. Now we're going to move up to the left, and this area gets filled in with the spruce wood planks. Now we're going to move up to the right, to this area. We're going to be placing 2 spruce wood planks going up. That's 1, 2. Switch the brown, fill in this empty space here with the brown. So it should look like this. Now we're going to switch over to the brown, go down here to the left, and place 1 brown wool on the left side of this black wall. That's 1. I hope this isn't confusing. I'll be honest with you, this is a little confusing for me as well. If it's not confusing for you, that's great, but for me, it can even be confusing at times. So now that we've got that, we're going to move back up here to the right to these 2 empty spaces. We're going to be placing 1 spruce wood plank, and then 1 brown wool on the left. Now, just to give you a heads up, the spruce wood planks are always going to be on the outer parts, and the brown wool is always going to be in the inner parts. That's why I'll be saying just in there and there without actually being very specific. So now let's switch over to the spruce wood planks, going over here to this empty space, and you're going to be placing 2 spruce wood planks going up. So that's 1, 2. Switch over to the brown wool. Next to it, you're going to be placing 2 brown wools going up. 1, 2. Let's go to this empty space. It gets filled in with the spruce wood planks. Now going up here, you're going to be placing 2 spruce wood planks going up. 1, 2. Switch over to the brown wool, and you're going to be placing 2 brown wools going up. So that's 1 and 2. Now we're going to move back down here to this 1 black wool. On the left side, place 1 brown wool. And remember to pause the video if it's going too fast for you. I'm going to fly back a bit so you can see that it should look exactly like this so far. We've still got a long way to go before we're completing this the sword. Alright, so let's go back up. Switch over to the spruce wood planks, and we're going to add 2 blocks going up. It's 1, 2. Switch over to the brown wool, place 1 brown wool. Going up here, to the right still. Now we're going to be placing 2 more spruce wood planks going up. That's 1, 2. Switch over to the brown wool, and you're going to be placing 1 brown wool. That's just 1. Now we're going to move up, switch over to the spruce wood plank, and place 1 spruce wood plank. That's 1. Switch over to the brown wool, place 1 brown wool. Now let's go up, switch over to the spruce wood plank, place 2 spruce wood planks going up. 1, 2. Switch over to the brown wool, place 2 brown wools going up. 1, 2. Now let's go up here to this empty space, fill that in with spruce wood. Now let's go up here to the left to this empty space, and what you're going to do is place 1 brown wool. That's 1. Switch over to the spruce wood planks, going up here, fill in that empty space with spruce wood planks. Switch over to the brown wool, going up here to the left, fill in this empty space here with the brown wool. Now let's go up here to the right, place 1 spruce wood plank, switch to the brown, fill in this with brown. Now that we've got that, what we're going to do next is from this area, we're just going to move up here to this next level. Switch over to the spruce wood, place 1 spruce wood plank. Switch over to the brown, and starting from there, place 2 brown wools going up. That's 1, 2. Going up here to the right, to this empty space, switch over to the spruce wood plank, place 1 spruce wood plank. Switch over to the right, switch over to the brown, and place 1 brown wool in this empty space. Now we're going to move up, switch over to the spruce wood plank, place 1 spruce wood plank, switch over to the brown, place 1 brown. And it should look exactly like this so far. Let me fly back a bit so you can see. You can pause the video if you need to. Alright, so now we're going to fly up here to this empty space, and we're going to switch over to the spruce wood. Just the spruce wood. Starting on top of these 2 black wools on the right side of the black wool, you're going to be placing 2 spruce wood going up. 1, 2. And then you're going to be placing, let's see, we're going to be placing 2 blocks going up on the left side. 1, 2. And then 1 block going diagonal up to the left. That's 1. Now let's move over here to the right, going to these 2 black walls going across, starting underneath the left black wall. You're going to be placing 3 blocks going down. That's 1, 2, and 3. So it should look like that. Now we're going to switch over to the snow block. And with the snow block, we're going to be filling in these 3 empty spaces. This space, this, and this with snow. So let's fill in these 3 empty spaces with snow. And then you're going to switch over to the spruce wood and fill in the remaining empty space here with the spruce wood. Let's fill this in. So it should look like this. Now we're going to move all the way back down, and we're going to do the exact same thing we did on the right side, except on the left, and it's going to be reversed, but similar. This time, the spruce wood is going to be on the spruce wood planks, I should say. The spruce wood planks is going to be on the left, and on the right, it's going to be the brown wool. So, let's go and switch and start with the, let's see, we're going to start with the brown wool to this empty space. We're just going to be placing 1 brown wool there. Switch over to the spruce wood plank, place 1 spruce wood plank in this empty space. Going up to the next level, place 1 spruce wood plank, and then 1 brown. Now we're going to go up here to this level, place 1 spruce wood plank, and then 1 brown. Now moving up to this next level, we're going to be placing 1 spruce wood, and then 1 brown. Then go up to the next level, 1 spruce wood, 1 brown. And then we're going to move up to this empty space here. Now this empty space here only gets 1 brown wool, so that's 1. Switch over to the spruce wood, going up to here. This gets filled in with spruce wood planks. Now going up here, place 1 spruce wood plank there. Switch over to the brown, starting on top of this black wool, place 2 brown wools going up. That's 1, 2. Going up here to this next area, place 1 spruce wood plank, and then place 1 brown. Then move up to the next area, place 1 spruce wood plank, and then 1 brown. Going up to the next one, 1 spruce wood plank, 1 brown. Going up to the next area, 1 spruce wood plank, and then 1 brown. And now going up to the next area, 1 spruce wood plank, 1 brown. Going up to this next area, what you're going to do is place 1 spruce wood plank there, and then another one going diagonal up to the right, so that's 1. And do this exact same thing with the brown wool. Place 1 brown wool, and then another brown wool going up diagonal to the right. So it looks like this. And now we're going to move up, and we're going to place 1 spruce wood plank and 1 brown. Now we're going to move up here to this empty space here on the right, and just place 1 spruce wood, or 1 brown wool. Just 1 brown wool there. Then switch over to the spruce wood plank, and fill in this empty space here with spruce wood plank. Switch over to the brown, go up here to the right, fill in this, or just place 1 brown. That's 1 brown. Then go up here to the left. This gets filled in with spruce wood planks. Going up here to this next level, place 1 spruce wood plank, and then 1 brown wool. Then go up here to this last area, gets filled in with 1 spruce wood plank and 1 brown wool. So it should look exactly like this so far. So now that we've done that, what we're going to do next is switch over to the spruce wood, not the spruce wood planks, but the spruce wood, and we're going to be filling in the remaining empty spaces that we left behind with the spruce wood. So go ahead and do that now. Fill that, or not even that, fill in those empty spaces with the spruce wood. And there we go, and then we finally did it. We finally made the sword that Deathstroke has in this pixel art. So, we've got a lot of stuff accomplished. I've got a lot of recording accomplished. I got 3 hours of raw footage just recorded that has to be edited down to 2 hours and something. So, I'm going to end it here. I know I promised you guys, well, I didn't really promise you. I said it was going to be the last one, but too much time has gone into this. I have other obligations that I have to do, and I hope you guys understand. But the very next part will be the last part, I promise. It won't be as complicating as instructing as that was. That was just a nightmare. But you survived through it and you made it to the end of this part. So the next part, I believe it's going to be part 10. Yes, part 10 is going to be the final part, so make sure to stay tuned. I will do my best to try to get that tutorial out, that final tutorial out for you as soon as possible. Now remember guys, if you want to request a future Minecraft pixel art tutorial of your favorite anime character, favorite video game character, celebrity, etc., then make sure to always check out the latest Powu video. You can leave your pixel art request in that video, in the comment section of that video on YouTube, not the tutorials or any other else. But you can also request on my Facebook, Twitter, and on my latest picture on Instagram as well. So with all of that being said, make sure to stay tuned in for more Minecraft videos.